Karen and Roby, you both talked a little bit about feedback. Let's dive in a little deeper. How can businesses analyze and interpret the feedback that's coming in? Can you speak to how you've seen businesses parse and then determine which messages are valuable to respond to? And why don't we start with you, Karen?
Yeah, so there are definitely different techniques and tools for analyzing feedback. Here at AppFollow, what we provide our customers, it's the ability to parse that feedback in a way that is very intelligent. So we really make use of categories. Ones that our clients can actually design through the use of AI. And then we also provide the ability to summarize and just see what the most recurrent feedback is. So those are kind of two ways that clients can parse that data and can actually extract some very real insights from the reviews that people are leaving either at the App Store or at the Google Play Store. And so, we also make use of, we make alerts available to our clients so there is kind of the ability there. It's almost I would separate it into two buckets, right? It's the ability to categorize feedback that's already been left. And then we also provide this ability to understand when, let's say, feedback is occurring in real time. For example, if clients are experiencing a lot of reviews that they wouldn't normally get in a very short amount of time. And so we actually have this feature called alerts that wonderful clients such as like What's Up, Disney, Paramount, and so forth make use of. And so really the goal is to identify areas of improvement and then to also continue to boost those areas that are doing well. And so through the use of like rating systems, 1 to 3 star reviews versus like 4 and 5-star reviews, that's another segmentation that clients can make use of.
Thanks, Karen. Why don't you give us your perspective, Roby?
Well, I think that the thing, again, kind of thinking about this problem through the perspective of you've got public and you got private. One of the things that scares a lot of companies is like, what do I do with all this volume? Like there's so much that's coming in already. Like how do I manage this volume? And it's really extraordinary because when you go from public to private and you start to solicit and you start to really be proactive, you get a lot more feedback, right? And I think David's going to talk to how this feedback, you can even shape the stream and you just get a lot more feedback. And so people get a little bit afraid of like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with all this? I don't have enough time maybe to monitor my public app store. Then you start to work with AppFollow and they drop that load. They make it easier. Well, now once you start to do it privately, again, that volume problem happens and it's like 100x because people inside your experience are really vocal, especially if you're quick. But one of the things that you could do with digital and what we make easy is that you can really focus on who you're getting the feedback from. And that's a big, innovation from what we've seen in a lot of the CX space, where using email surveys with low response rates, you're going to an entire customer base. Well, now in digital applications, you could say, here's a customer who is on my loyalty rewards program. They've been here for 3 months and they made 2 purchases in the last 60 days. That's really who I'm trying to learn from. And I have 2 questions for them. When you do that, well, a lot of times the team just says, okay, we've got the answer. Now, we don't have to sift through this. We've got a very clear answer from the people we're trying to listen to. And so that makes it a lot easier to really take this to the next level of you segment your customers, you understand what their experience is, and you can really quickly answer questions that are important to your business. And when you do that internally, you move from the place of a bunch of teams saying we should get more feedback and we should listen to it and then complaining and struggling with how to analyze it, to a place where the company starts to iterate around the feedback and says, we have a process and we can do this in this way to talk to these customers. And we will do this every time we ship a new meaningful feature launch. And so then that feedback that used to maybe be a hobby, right, inside the company, fundamentally, where somebody does it when they have the time, they open up Excel and they spend a few hours tagging analysis, it becomes now part of the process. And when it becomes part of the process, then what you got is like a maturation of a product org, a CX org, and an insights org, and oftentimes the marketing org. And I don't want to tip my hand too much, David, but like messaging gets better when you listen to customers about what's going on. And so that's a place where you move from like really thinking about feedback as we should do something with it to analyzing it and then actually driving actions, because now you're driving your messaging, you're iterating, and the team is consistently actually putting a process in place to collect feedback on new product launches and initiatives.